Good evening. Weather impact meteorologist Gary Frank with an update this evening about some of the rain here and there. Obviously, we've been talking about scattered showers now have primarily moved into the Metro East. As you see the lights on at Busch Stadium, and that's one of the signs that obviously people are still there, but late start as expected, but fortunately we've been able to kind of dodge that with the lack of lightning in the area. This is just rain as we look outside. And that's what I want to pinpoint and how the progression of how this has played out. Now, things are a little clearer here as we've got temperatures right now, 76 degrees. We got to 83 today, so that's 7 degrees below normal as we continue to look at pretty decent conditions in east-southeast breeze at 8 miles an hour. But as we look at some of the radar, you'll notice that over the course of the afternoon and evening, watch how that rain settled in. I'll even loop this for a little longer here because I got to switch radar products. We're going to do that specifically. So we did start off where most of this was in the south, and we did get a few showers the first part of the day, especially Rolla, but watch how this kind of progressed and went a little further north by 3 or 4 o'clock. That's when we saw more steady rain here. And, as we switch radar products again, what I want you to note here is how a lot of this has just kind of hung around and eventually kind of shifted into the Metro East, where you've seen some pretty decent rainfall rates. And in fact, as we look at some of the spots from Union to St. Clair, this moving from south to north, and that's not all that impressive, but it's been pretty consistent here. You also see that near Herman, some light showers into Bowling Green, Eolia. But look at the Metro East, from Vandalia to Kinmundy, from Salem to Mount Vernon to Greenville, Ramsey and Litchfield. You've seen a lot of this. Now, pointing out a few things right now, we've got, for the most part, some pretty decent rain. Some of these rainfall rates are over 2 inches per hour. And to me, when we look at this, while there's no significant flooding threat, the deal for us is any driving along this is going to slow you down significantly on 70, especially some of the ponding on the roadways from Hillsboro, Greenville, and Litchfield. So that's what we're really going to see over the course of the next several hours is as this finally exits. And I really think that it will. As I put this back on the full screen for you, I want to be able to point that out. From north to south, this is trying to get out of here, and I think it's eventually going to over the next couple of hours. So I do want to show you what this may look like in Futurecast, because I do think that this has shifted out of here perhaps a little earlier. So that's probably the type of rain I thought we were going to get on Sunday morning. And while we may get a few light showers as well for tomorrow morning, look how this really gets out of here completely. I think this has kind of shifted. Earlier, this was kind of closer to the metro area in St. Louis, just into the Metro East. And some of the most recent data has pushed that a little further east sooner. So that's better for your Sunday plans as well. So as we get throughout the rest of the evening, I think overall temperatures are going to hold pretty steady. They're not going to change a lot. We may lose 3 or 4 degrees, but I just doubt it. It's not going to change all that much. The progression of this entire area here, for the most part, is really had to do with the fact that we've had this low. We've had a surge in Gulf moisture, and this low has kind of sat here in Kansas City, areas in Kansas. And, for the most part, that's what we've been looking at to kind of give us the center of where this low is. Now, what we're going to see here is this right here. This low is eventually going to move off to the east and northeast, and as it does so, it's going to take any of that rain away from us. So, rain away with it. Temps in the 80s today, like I mentioned, but some of the spots in the 70s. It was pretty cool, all things considered. Now, I think, as we mentioned, overall tomorrow that will start to exit, and I think for the rest of the day, we may see a couple of showers early, but there may be a pop-up storm in the afternoon. So I do want you to prepare for that. I think there may be a few pop-up storms in the afternoon. However, I think for the most part, things are quieter. What we're going to see over the next few days, and we've kind of run out of time with some of the stuff and busy things with the Olympics over the last few days, we're going to settle into some significant heat. And that's what I want to look at here, because in advanced tracking, this heat is a significant factor for us. What we're going to see over the next few days is this high settles in, and that's usually a sign where it gets hot, it gets dry, and that sinking air kind of limits any thunderstorm development. And this is by Monday, right? Watch how this continues to edge. Things get hotter. But what I want to point out is as this high centers here and works its way into pretty much the panhandle of Texas and Oklahoma, watch where the wind direction is around that, because generally as we see storm development along the edge of a high, typically seems to be a little stronger. It's interacting with this heat. We have some cooler air here, and there's usually storms that develop along that, especially in the Front Range, and kind of work their way down. Look where we are, though. We're on the edge of that. We nudge this high a little closer to us. We avoid those storms. We're kind of on the fringe of them. But if this high doesn't kind of center quite as much, I think we have better opportunities for storms like that. That being said, not every day is going to rain. It will get hot. It will get humid. These days, as we get close to 100 degrees, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're kind of on the lookout here, and it's something we may talk about tomorrow or Monday when we're talking about weather impact alert, because the heat and humidity is going to be so significant. The only thing that breaks it is probably going to be something in terms of the rain, and that's what I want to look at specifically before we do that. So just want to put that out there. Significant heat, obviously, the humidity is going to be a big factor, but will we see those rain chances kind of diminish our temperatures? That's going to be a big story for us when we try to figure out what we're going to do and to message that and kind of keep you prepared for the heat and humidity. Otherwise, quiet hit and miss showers, another chance on Monday, and we'll start to get those hit and miss chances for showers and storms. Otherwise, a lot of dry time headed for us on Sunday, and a nice break before it gets really hot and humid.